Hello, welcome to my channel, Liliveth Tate channel. Hello, hello. How is everybody in the world today, tonight, afternoon, in your time? So, hello. Mega love shout out. Mega love shout out to all my members, my premium followers in Liliveth Tate channel, and of course, my generous super donators. Okay, so actually, I'm planning to do live outside, but the connection it's kind of weak, so I have to go inside here so that my connection is pretty much okay. Oh my god, move, move those stuffs. So I'll just update weekend summer here in the Philippines. And then I'm gonna show you guys my favorite spinach. I bought that in wet market this afternoon. And I love that. I'm going to saute mango beans with spinach. So one of my favorite. Okay, dokie. So I don't really want because we have 2 days bazaar here. So I didn't want to go there because let's save our money. So this kind of spinach, I know there's a lot of this kind of spinach also in the States. So if you don't know about this, now you know because there's so many, there's so many good uh, benefits that you can able, to have this kind of spinach. Because I know some of when I watch some of the other vloggers and I saw this kind of grass on their on their backyard. Oh my god, if I'm there I'll gonna get and I will cook that. Okay, so I'm gonna read what's the benefits. So the English of colitis, that's we call that in Tagalog. Hi Sis Amy. Sis Amy, kumakain ka ba ng colitis with mongo? So in English, amarat or pigweed. Okay. So is a nutritious leafy green vegetable that offers virus health benefits. It's good source of vitamin E, vitamin 6, vitamin C, riboflavin, folate, and vitamin K, as well as the dietary minerals like calcium, iron, magnesium, phosphorus, potassium, and zinc and copper. So you can, if usually, we Filipino, we mix this with ginisang, saute mango beans. The mango beans is just like the green and they have yellow, the small beans. And also if you have, if you want to mix with this with, sinabawang, um, isda, you can mix with this, all right? And then you can saute this with with garlic, and then just you saute with sesame oil, sprinkle with a bit of salt, and then oyster sauce. That's very good. So anyway guys, I will show you how does it look. So, and I can see it's freshly picked from the garden. So I bought, in Tagalog, this one tali is 20 pesos. Here, this one. Here, guys. So I know in Europe they have this, and in the States. So this is 20 pesos. I bought three because I want, when I cook a ginisang munggo, I'm more onto the vegetable than rice. So I'll gonna cook ginisang munggo, and I let Frank to taste this if he likes. I'm sure he likes because once I like, he like also. Not the ampalaya, except the ampalaya, because he doesn't really like the ampalaya. This one. So fresh, no chemicals. So I'm gonna put here near to my mouth. Okay. Okay. Just update lang guys, because I want to share some of this. Then I noticed that before this one is just like 10 pesos, but now it's no longer that 20 pesos because of the price of gasoline goes up. So this is for our dinner later. So I'm gonna partner this with grilled pork chop and munggo, ginisang munggo. Hi Ryan! What's up Ryan?
Nilagnat si baby. Ano yan? Sarado rin.
I cooked that last night. I mixed into yeah, this is very good, sis Amy. I like this, than broccoli, cauliflower. I like this kind of vegetable. And then the other one I like also with the tinik. So this one is no tinik. Okay, thank you so much for dropping by. This one. So this is very, very healthy, guys. So I'm gonna clean this. So I'm gonna do like that. So when I cook this, I don't waste any. So even the stock, so I just peel and then you can eat this. Because the stock, you get a lot of fiber for this. So if you're not really into the green leafy vegetable, you have a problem when it comes to your bowel movement. You're gonna be constipated. So this is good for constipated because this is high in fiber. So just peel. Because in the center is it's still soft. And I like this part also. Like the broccoli, guys. When I saw some people when they clean broccoli, they thrown away the stalk, which is you can still able to clean that and mix with the flour. Here, I like the smell. So I already boiled the mungo. So actually, the other one is they call it colitis, or the native colitis. So there's a thorn. So that it came out. So like example, if it's summer and then the first rain of May, oh my God, it came out. Because I remember, my sister, she's living in Aguinaldo, Bailin. So when she come here, to visit me, I told her if there's a colitis on her place, so I want her to bring for me. But here sometimes, guys, you can see there's a flower. Okay, you have to remove that because the flower is kind of bitter, so you have to remove that here. In a few days, guys, Holy Week is coming, so I don't want to say something, you know, so- something, something offend or what. So I want to be, you know, a little holy. So yesterday I have a good uh, swimming time because that time just myself in the big pool here. So the swimming pool here just Olympic size, and I enjoy my swimming yesterday. And then after that, oh my God, there's a lot of people coming. So good thing that I go first. So for the price of 60 pesos, about a dollar, 60, yeah, about $1. It's worth it, guys. You get a lot of, good benefits that your body will get. And then, the value of dollar here in the Philippines, guys. Oh my God. For those, dollar earner, this is your chance, to invest your US dollars, because the rates here is 50, I no 60 point 15. But other currency I don't really just only the dollar. Ay, ay, ay. So this one, if it's big, you have to remove, the skin, because it's gonna be uh, hard if you're gonna cook this. So you have to remove the skin. So this, if it's young, because this one it's the fiber, okay. For vegetarian, you will love this, guys. Actually, I love vegetable because when I was a kid, my parents, especially my mom, she's one of a kind mother. So we always eat vegetable, fresh pick from her garden, no pesticide, it's organic. So I use of that. So when I eat vegetable that something they spray, I can tell. Because you know what? It also affect me. I feel, I have stomach upset with something not right about the vegetable. So if there's a local vegetable, I prepare to pick that than, like broccoli, cabbage, zucchini. Is that the right pronunciation? Zucchini or zucchini? And in the province, there's so many, wild vegetable. We learned that from my grandma, because during the World War II. So if I stranded in a woods, okay, or in the island, no, I don't. I'm not scared, or I'm not worried about the food, because I learned that some wild vegetable that to fill up your stomach, if you have no choice, just to eat that for survival mood. And it's summer here, because just last week, or a few days ago, I mean, the weather forecast announced the summer season now here in the Philippines. And a while ago, I went to the exchange, current exchange. So that's why I mentioned that the rate of dollar is 60, 60, 15. But not all like that, guys. So even in the bank, they have, but that's kind of that's the pawn shop, uh exchange rates, they give a higher than other bank. But the BDO is less about that. 59.95. It's really hot. And then when I arrive, I have a headache, 'cause it's too hot, So the cost of gasoline here is 100 per liter. It depends what type of gasoline. So from here going to the exchange store, just a few, well, about a kilometer. So I decided to walk, because I told Frank that the gas that we have in our car, and in the bike, we're gonna save that. We never know, because they said that until the stock of gas here in the Philippines until April 15. So after the April 15, we never know if the price of gas is gonna went up. So I told him that I can walk, but when I come back, oh my God, it's hot. So I just ride on the trike. But ride on the trike is not really, just about 90 cents USD. Because here 50 pesos from my place going to the wet market. So when I arrive home, oh my God, I have to drink something cold. And I noticed that a few public transportation on the street. And that's the reason we didn't know that that time that we went to the bank. And I told Frank, oh my God, thanks God, it's not traffic. We didn't know that, that time that, the jeepney and other public transportation on strike because of the price of gas went up. So some of the restaurant, they closed, guys. And some also gas station, they close. And that's the reason why, for those, wants to come here in the Philippines, if you can able, to reschedule your flight, think many times, because you don't want to stranded here in the Philippines, and then you have a take vacation, and then you have to go back to the country where you work. You have to think many times, because we have um, national state of national energy emergency here in the Philippines. And some of the flights, they canceled because they don't have enough fuel to refuel that. But I'm not saying that there's no flight. There is, but you have to uh, think first before you come here in the Philippines, because we have energy emergency, and you don't want to end up, you're gonna lose your job for that. Even even domestic flight. So I mentioned about this to my sister, because they're planning to go to have a vacation next month in my hometown. So I told them that make sure that you do not get in trouble when you take your vacation, because we have a problem about our fuel or gas here in the Philippines. So you don't want to end up stranded in the province, and then you have work to come back. So that's the thing that yeah, when I saw the bazaar here, oh my god, I don't want to. I'm just go around and see what can I see, or if there's something needed to get, but they don't have. Just like some of the clothes, free love. I don't have a kids here, so no need. So I have to remove some of the flour, because the flour is kind of a bitter if you put a lot. So you have to remove the flour. So this morning I cannot sleep, because I watch, I watch the series, is that, I think that's Prime, Amazon. The Yellowstone with Kevin Costner. I like it. So sometimes, I sleep and then wake up, and then, some of the episode I don't really know the story, but I like the story. So I woke up late. So by the time that, Frank start to open the curtain, in the room, because I'm here in the couch sleep while watching that series. Oh, there's a sun coming out. It's just like me. I'm just like a vampire. It burns me when the Frank opened the curtain. So for those, foreigners coming here in the Philippines that, you're just living with your like your social security pension. Example, if you have, 1200, I know, no, 1200, yeah, you can still able, to live here in the Philippines, by yourself, okay? But even if you have family like one child and then your wife, yeah, you can able to do that. So make sure that your wife, she knows how to manage the money. You can still able, like if you pick the place, outside Metro Manila, and then the one thing that uh, you can able to live that if you are not picky when it comes to food. What locals, like especially if you pick to live in the outside Manila, and what local people cook, you don't have to, pick, or no, you're gonna tell, oh, I don't want to eat that, like vegetable, how they cook. Yeah, you can still able, to live by the 1200 USD. Just only one child wife, but you have to take a lot of, budgeting about the money. But if you're living by yourself here in Metro Manila, yeah, you can still able to, to live, the gated community, 24/7, guard on duty, just by yourself. Because here in Metro Manila, here in Metro Manila, if you're by yourself, you're gonna get, this, the studio type, the price of condo, like, I mentioned about, the gated community, like 25,000 or 20,000. And it depends, some of the, some, like, some of the condo, some they just included, the water bill, or it depends, but majority here it's separate. So you can still able, to buy your foods that, how your lifestyle, in like example for those American, you can still able to do that, the way that your lifestyle, but just by yourself. But if you have two children, wife, and then they go to school, no, you can't. So it's better for you to, to find a place in the countryside, because the rent there is cheaper. But sometimes, even though that, in the province, if they have a nice house, and especially new build, it's kind of a pricey also. The price, it's almost the same here in Manila. But the only difference in, in the province, if you are nice to your neighbors, I mean, if you are nice to locals, all, sometimes you can save your money to buy food, because they offer some vegetable freshly picked from their garden or from their backyard garden. So if you are nice to local. But the cost of the money you that spend, it's according your lifestyle. So if you're like for Filipino, if your husband is more onto the city, uh one of you has work, if that if your husband just after his social security pension, especially now that the price here goes went up. That 1200 that I mentioned is only for for one person budget. And also that the 1200, so that would be like 1200, like 16, mm, 10, 60, like 66,000 a month. 66,000, that's enough for a one person, guys. Because now the exchange rate here is like over 66,000 pesos. So our bills here, when it comes to electric, water, like before, we spend about 10,000 for for our bills. That time we use our old air condition. So we request that to the landlord to replace the old aircon. So now we don't really have that. Usually we have like 6,000 plus our electric bill. So our water, we don't really I don't really pay our water. Well, we don't use water from from the faucet, because just only for cleaning or what. We don't really use that for drinking. So I bought like a good thing that it saved me a little money for the drinking water, because the brand of the water that we drink is Nature Spring. So I went to their direct website. So I order online. But there's a minimum order that 1,000 they will deliver free. So that's what I did. So that's for like 6 boxes in one box. That's 2 10 liters. So that's good for 1 month. So the water here, we have water station here. Uh, Free for our residents here. So we have a budget for this. This is 5 gallons. Okay, so we have free this 5 gallons every month. So this kind of water I use this for like uh, washing the rice, or if I gonna do like especially making salad. So I'm gonna use this, to rinse my vegetable. Not the water from, the direct to the faucet, because it's not really safe. So you have to avoid that, especially like, when you make some salad, don't use that water to clean. Or you can clean, but you have to use the filtered water, to rinse your vegetable. Hi, Brett. Hello. Thank you for coming. But compared to the other country, yeah, that's 1,200 is not enough, because, like example, there's two country here, and Southeast Asia that they said that the cost of living is a little cheaper compared to the States or in Europe. But now it's no longer that in Thailand, because there's a lot of tourists, so the price of the cost of living there, it's a little higher than here. I know that there's a lot of foreigners. They decided to stay in the province because yes, it's very they can spend a little money, because the price of thing here, especially if you have you buy a huge land, like the vegetable that you bought in the public market or wet market. You cannot, you don't need to go there and buy. All you have to do, just cultivate the land and plant some vegetable that it's easy for you to harvest. But if you're the type of person that you're not really into the vegetable, you're more onto meat, the 1200 guys just only for for one person. And that 1200, if you're really if you are gonna follow what your standard living in and like example in the States, even going to the bar you can't. That's really good for one person. But here in our budget, so I don't want to mention our budget, but we still, what do you call that, sustain about our cost of living here in Manila. But I'm not the type of person going shopping or what, compete with other women's what they have. No, I'm not like that. And I prefer to, I got a new laptop. Oh, right. Okay. What kind of laptop? HP, Apple? That's one thing, when it comes to, I remember one of my followers that he wants to give me a gift for, like iPhone. But when he found out that, if he sent here in the Philippines, I have to pay in the custom. So it's not really, it's not Dell. It's not really, it's not, it's not convenience for, buy some stuff like in the States, like, the time I want iPhone, iPhone 17, because, you get a double, payment for that. So I'm gonna wait. I'm not yet buy, my iPhone, because I know that the price of iPhone goes down. So before it's just like 98 something. The 512 gigabyte. But now when I check is just like 93,000. The price goes, went down. And then sometimes, in custom, you cannot really tell because sometimes they are interested. So they're gonna steal some of that. So he's just like he's sending money to me. And I'm the one who's gonna buy that online. So like, like jewelries, guys, like example, if you're gonna buy that jewelries like in the States, they're worth uh worth 5,000. So you have to declare that. Once it arrived here in the Philippines, you're gonna pay that same amount. So for those, for those boyfriend and girlfriend, you don't, especially for a man, you don't have to send that kind of engagement ring here in the Philippines because you're gonna pay that double. So just come here in the Philippines and buy that jewelry so that just one time payment. But if you're gonna, do that, to send in oh my god, they gonna give you a like the tax, because the tax here in the Philippines they base on the original price. Like if you were gonna bring your cars here in the Philippines, you have to declare, the right amount of your car because that's the way, uh, that's the figure that they will give you the tax. So how what model is that? How many years you bought that? Because if your car is it's not latest, the tax will less for that. Just like the insurance in your car. At first, your car insurance goes, the price is a bit pricey, but on the next year it gonna be went down. So my car insurance is not the same amount that I pay for the when it's brand new, because this coming June, no, well, I bought that May, but we get that in the casa. That's month of June because that time the salesman is he has a family event, so the delivery or the turnover of what my car was canceled. So I'm sure the plane ticket, it's gonna be pricey now, especially from from in the West. You're coming here in the Philippines. Oh, cancel your vacation here. Go Gulp Stewart. Hello. Yeah. Oh, guys, don't skip the harang. So that's the only way that you can help on my channel. Okay, guys, for those ones, to watch, the replay, please don't skip the ads. That's the way that you can help on my show. So are you familiar with this? The vegetable that I cleaning right now? Gulp here. Actually, the thing is, it's Holy Week here in the Philippines. Supposedly for Catholic, we're not allowed to eat meat. But me, I don't do that kind of fasting. So I will not eat, meat, just only fish next week. That's Holy Thursday, Good Friday. Okay. That's 2 days that I will fasting for eating, meat. So Saturday is Black Saturday, and then Sunday, Easter Sunday. So I never tried not to eat the whole day. Oh my God. I can't take it. No. So this kind of, we call this colitis, amarat in English, amarat. So this is good with, with munggo, ginisang munggo. Colitis in Tagalog. And there's so many benefits that you can able to have this. That's the reason why, guys, a lot of Western people, when they come here to the Philippines, and then, when they marry, or, when they have Filipina girlfriend, they're surprised that, like fruits, because there's some fruits here in the Philippines that you cannot see in the States or in Europe. And the taste was so good, like vegetable, guys. The one thing that I, Frank like also, the roots, we call that in Tagalog takway, but in other, Hiligaynon dialect, we call that also takway. The like, it's not the roots. It looks like a roots of the taro, guys. And then when I cook that, here in Metro Manila, Parañaque City. When I cook that, like, adobong takway, because, that's high in fiber, Franks like it. So what I did is, I make a cornbread, because, yeah, I make a cornbread, so it's just like substitute with, colored green. The taste is because, the takway is just like, a slimy, but, when you adobo that, or other Ilocanos recipe, is really good. It's very appetizing kind of vegetable. So what I did is, I make a cornbread and then, a grilled pork chop and then the adobong takwai. It's very good, when you match with cornbread. He likes it. But I don't need, to cook that every day because he will not eat again. So I'm gonna cook that for like once in a month. Because when I cook, when I do like grilled pork chop and then cornbread, he preferred, the smattered cabbage. So this one, I'm gonna try this. I'm gonna try this if he will eat. So I'm sure he will eat because I'm gonna cook this good. Kulitis. So you can see, guys. Oh, there's some. See, you see that it looked like the string. That's the fiber. So this is high in fiber, guys. Yeah, the takwai is so yummy. But here in Metro Manila, it's kind of hard. Sometimes there is takwai, sometimes they don't have takwai. But in the province, there's a lot of takwai there. So that's the reason why, guys, when I invite people coming here in my place, first thing that I ask, are you allergic with this kind of meat? What food that you don't really want to eat? But thanks God that most of the people that I invited to eat with us, they are not picky. They can eat whatever they want to eat. So if I gonna do vacation in my hometown, there's a lot of native vegetable that I really want to eat. The way that my parents cook, that's the way that I miss to eat that kind of food. Actually, in the province, we don't use electric stove or gas stove. We use wood, and the food is totally different, especially that when you pick that in your garden, the taste is, especially when it comes to vegetable, oh my goodness. Hello, Kiss. Kiss, is your wife cooking this kind of vegetable, the colitis here? This is good with mungo. How is the weather in Antipolo, Kiss? How's the price of commodities there in your town? Not 2 days, 2 years ago, guys, when I bought vegetable from farmers market, guys, the SM eco bag is full of vegetable of that. Okay, 1,000 pesos. But now it's no longer that. My budget for that vegetable, it gonna be double. I'm gonna make it 2,000, guys, because I can see the price went up. So if there's a season of vegetable, I buy a lot and then, blanch and keep it to my freezer. So by the time that I need that vegetable, I don't need to go to the market and get one of those or both. I buy some of those because, I have stock. But sometimes I can't because, the price of, that kind of vegetable is, except if they're season. Now the Indian mango here is season, so it's kind of a less the price. And then the mango, well, it's still, for me, the kilo of mango here, because it's March, April. So by month of May, June, that season of Philippine mango. So might, the price of mango is just like 80 pesos. Now it's double the price. So I don't want to get those, because some, vendors, they take advantage for that because of the gasoline, whatever their excuse is. So I'm gonna buy a lot of mangoes by month of May and then June. As of now is watermelon. Watermelon here is so sweet. So I'll check tomorrow if they have watermelon in farmers market. But you have to be careful eating watermelon. If you're diabetic, don't eat a lot. Like mango, natural sweet. So I have to remove, the skin so that it won't hard when you eat. So bye bye, Miss American Pie. Throw my children to the levee. Oh no. Who's this to? Okay, it's not yet 1 hour. Oh my God, it's almost 4 o'clock. So after this, I'm gonna go outside and check what they have in the. Just go around, curious what they have in the bazaar. In some of the, employee in the admin office. Oh, mom, why you did not, you know, uh, join the bazaar? I don't have stuff, to sell. So I don't want, to make some like, some like bread. My God, it's not enough. The labor, especially now that the gas goes up. Oh, I refuse to do that. Cornbread, muffins. Anyway, I have muffins there in my. I just make that for myself. Strawberry muffin. Sometimes when I want to eat something like sweet, so I have that on my ref. So I don't need to go out and buy and get some muffin in the store. So I make my own muffin. So I would love to do that, but the thing is, you're not really sure if somebody will buy that. Yeah, I can tell, they might buy that, but not all. So I don't want to gamble my money for that unless if I have, if I have a store. So just like, in American people, when they buy fish, especially when they buy the whole salmon, they gonna throw it the head. No, you cannot do that here in the Philippines. Filipino will gonna make that into a good soup. Or do you ever make banana bread muffins? Yeah, I did that before. Right. Well, it's just like, yeah, but we have so many different banana here. So I'm get tired of eating banana bread or banana muffin. Yeah, but if I bought a lot of banana and then, so I keep it in the freezer, yeah, I make some banana bread or banana muffin. But I really want to, I want to, if I have somebody wants to uh, invest, to build a restaurant. Yeah, he eat banana. He likes banana bread. Just only my banana bread he likes. So if somebody wants to, invest, to build a restaurant here, because, I really want to build up, a soul food. because I know already. I know how to cook some soul food, but it's kind of it's so much work for you have to hands on. Of course, especially when you build a restaurant, you also know how to cook. Most of owner of the restaurant, they are chef. Because if something happened that if their cook cannot come, or emergency, you're the one who in charge for that. Oh, that's good. Sounds good, Brett. So, and then of course you have to pick the honest workers and employees. And of course, if somebody wants to invest to you, honest, and at the end of the day, he or she will run your money, and then you end up bankrupt your restaurant. Wow, I wish I could taste that your specialty chocolate hazel banana bread. Oh, sounds good. Oh, when I make some, just I use milk. Well, I think they said that the yogurt, it helps to moist. I like this. I have friends that they sell catfish. Fried catfish with instead of flour, I use cornmeal, and then smothered pork chop. Well, one of the soul food. We don't have collard green, so maybe I can substitute that collard green into a mustard, or so you mean, Brett, you are good baker? It's almost. So Frank, he can bake, like like he said that he wants to share with me, the recipe of his mom, the egg pie. I like egg pie. Oh, that sounds good. Okay, I'm done. Just turn you around. Okay, so that you can see me when I go there in the zinc, 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 zinc. Oh, by the way, guys, I want to make a love shout out to my sister, Lick Lick. I'm proud of you. I love you, sister. Oh, I never tried that. The zucchini bread. Oh, I really want to try that. Oh, sounds interesting. Because there's a zucchini here also in the Philippines, so it's not really hard and it's not really expensive ingredients. I feel, headache. Maybe I need the new eyeglasses, because that's the headache that I feel before when I need eyeglasses. So maybe, my grade of my eyes went high. So this is my strawberry cupcake. Sometimes I don't want to eat. I just want to eat something like, a cupcake or bread. This morning, I don't eat breakfast. So I just eat crackers with uh, devil wurst. The devil wurst? Frank teach me chop with, with onion, and it is good because, at first I don't really like because, there's aftertaste, the bitter taste. But he said that, chop some yellow onion and, it will eliminate, the bitter taste or the aftertaste. That's my lunch. Okay. Oops. Okay, guys. So I won't stay long. So thank you so much for tuning in and see you next time. Bye. So by the way, guys, I would like, to maybe some of my live stream, and I want to share some of the laws here in the Philippines that I want to share with, Filipinos, and particularly women. And also I want to share also this for Western men, not women, Western men. So we're gonna discuss that, okay? Because I don't want to think some of you that you're gonna watch this and I'm gonna make some story about that, but that's in our laws. So it's not a threat or whatever you consider that, but that's in the law, okay? So I can't stay long here because it's time for me to go to the bazaar. So I'm gonna update some of my activities here in my YouTube. So one of these days I'm gonna upload some of videos that interested to share with you guys. So until next time, bye. Mwah.